Tonight, you're going to sit with a retired Black Fleet commander who hears that call and notices the tiny, wrong details hidden inside it. And you'll hear how far above his quiet balcony old war machines that should have stayed asleep begin to stir. So settle into whatever you're lying on. Maybe pull your blanket a little closer, because we're heading to a future where Earth has gone dim to survive, where the legendary Black Fleet was supposed to be a last resort, and where one engineered cry for help forces a tired man to decide, answer, and reveal how humans save each other, or stay silent and hope the thing studying us loses interest. We'll start with that quiet Earth and with Miguel Reyes, listening to a signal that should not exist. Tonight, I want you to imagine a quiet Earth, no roaring fleets, no grand speeches, no shining flags over new worlds, just a blue planet dimmed on purpose, holding its breath. The great wars are over. The heroes are tired. The sky is watched by silent machines that almost never move. Somewhere out there, old empires still fight, but they step lightly around our sun, like people walking past a sleeping giant. Now, picture a retired commander sitting on a small balcony in San Antonio. The air is warm. The city lights are soft and low, designed not to shine too bright into space. He holds a mug that has gone cold. On the table, a small hollow screen shows a signal, a distress call. It looks simple. It sounds simple. Help us. We are under attack. But the old commander, Miguel Reyes, sees something inside it. Tiny changes in the sound. Tiny delays in the timing. Little choices that feel too neat, too careful, too built. It is a cry for help. It is also a test. Tonight, we are going to sit with him as he listens. We will feel his doubt, his duty, and that heavy, quiet fear that maybe the past is trying to wake up again. We'll listen to the old stories about the Black Fleet, those dark ships that used to move like shadows across the stars. We'll follow the secret choices that bring those ships back to life, and we'll watch together as a rescue starts to look more and more like bait laid out by something patient and unseen. For now, just breathe. Let your body soften. Let your thoughts drift like dim ships in a safe harbor. You are just here to listen. You are safe. The danger is very far away, out beyond the cold dark, between stars, and even there, it moves slowly, like a scientist taking notes. We begin on a quiet Earth, with a man who promised himself he was done with war, listening to a signal that will not let him rest. Settle in. Let your eyes grow heavy. This is the story of the Black Fleet, the Curator, and a distress call that was also a question. How do you save others when someone is studying every move you make? By the late 25th century, Earth had learned how to stay quiet. From orbit, the planet looked softer than in old pictures. City lights were dim, filtered, turned away from the stars. Great towers still rose in places, but their tops were dark at night. Power grids were buried deep. The sky was full of watchers, but very few of them shone. The Omega Wars had taught humanity what noise could bring. For decades, the sky had burned, flares from weapons, trails from fleets, warnings, threats, pleas for peace. In the end, half the old stations were rubble. Several colonies were gone. Too many people were gone. Too many people were gone. So Earth changed. Instead of new flags on new planets, there were careful rules and quiet stations. Instead of bold broadcast into deep space, there were tight beams, aimed and narrow, like whispers sent straight to a single ear. Most days, nothing moved fast. On those days like this one, the planet felt almost like it did before the wars. Children walked home from night classes under soft streetlights. Drones carried food instead of weapons. The loudest sound in many places was just wind against trees or traffic on clean roads. Miguel Reyes sat on his small balcony in San Antonio and watched a train of low drones slide across the distant sky, their lights almost invisible. He liked that. He liked quiet skies. The mug near his hand had started hot and sweet, but he had forgotten to drink it. A small hollow disk on the table painted a faint blue rectangle of light in front of him. Graphs shifted. A thin, repeating sound came from a tiny speaker, like a slow alarm that did not know how to be urgent. He listened with his eyes half closed. High above the city, near the edge of space, hidden machines listened too. He beyond no sheens listened too. They caught signals from far beyond the moon, from other worlds, from hidden relays. Almost all of those signals were routine, trade updates, research logs, colony weather, system ping checks, almost all of them. This one was different. The sound in the air on Miguel's balcony rose and fell in a short loop to a normal ear. It just sounded like a distress call from a far colony, already processed by machines into a flat, clear pattern. 9 under attack. Varren ships in orbit, civilian casualties. Request immediate assistance. Any Black Fleet assets. Respond. Please. It repeated with a soft click each time it restarted. Miguel had heard distress calls before. Too many. Long ago. Some had been traps. Some had been real. All of them had put weight on his chest. This one put weight there too, but also something else. A kind of itch behind his eyes. He tapped the air above the hollow disk. The sound paused. The numbers and lines froze. He leaned closer. Frequency drift, he said softly. No one answered. The small apartment behind him was dark, the bed neat, the table clean. Retirement had made him tidy. He spoke anyway. You're changing just a little each time, aren't you? On the holo, a graph jumped as he dragged a marker from the first loop of the call to the 10th. Tiny shifts showed up. The pitch had changed only a little, but the change was steady. The timing between words had slowed by a tiny fraction, then ticked faster again in a neat, even way. It was like someone had taken a simple signal and tucked patterns inside it. patterns that only showed up if a machine or a man who had stared at signals for too many years looked very close. He let the call play again. The voice was female, tired but strong. It named Ellis. It named the attackers. Varan Dominion ships. It used the right codes, the right distress level, the right legal tags that told any listening human system that help was not just asked for, but allowed, authorized by treaty. On paper, it was perfect. Miguel's fingers tapped the railing of his balcony. Slow and steady. "You're too perfect," he said. Down on the street, a pair of small service bots rolled past. Lights low. A neighbor's window dimmed as its owner told the system to darken for the night. Above, a defense satellite slid along its hidden track, black against black eyes turned outward. The world slept, but in the command center in Geneva, not everyone did. Doctrine Center in Geneva, not everyone did. Not Turk. Calvin Hart had long ago given up on real nights. Space did not care about human sleep cycles, and signals did not time themselves to match local sunsets. His office in the Orbital Signal Analysis Center had no windows. The walls were smooth and pale. The air was always the same cool, clean flow. He liked it that way. On his main display, the distress call from Ellis. 9 rolled in soft curves and lines. He had stripped away the voice and the message text hours ago. What mattered to him now were the shapes under the sound. Noise, pattern, noise, pattern again. He chewed slowly on a meal bar as he watched. Dr. Hart. His assistant, Lena Joe, said from the doorway, "The council wants your first recommendation for the record." Calvin did not turn yet. He zoomed in on a tiny section of the graph. The frequency drift showed up in a neat staircase of points, like someone climbing at a steady pace, step by step. "Just a minute," he said. "I want to finish this plot." He let the system overlay 3 versions of the signal. The first arrival, the middle, the latest. Each line in each bundle matched the others. Almost exactly, same words. Same energy level. Same error correction tags. "Too clean," he sighed and leaned back, rubbing the bridge of his nose. "Calvin," Lena said, softer. "I know." He saved the file and turned. Lena stood with a small slate in her hand. Her dark hair pulled back, her eyes worried. She was young enough that the Omega Wars were something she had studied, not lived. He was not. "Okay," he said, "let's give them what they want." They walked down the short hall to the secure consult room. The shielded walls here were thicker. The door closed, with a sense of finality that everyone always felt, even if they did not talk about it. The council appeared as a ring of faint figures around the table. No full bodies, just shoulders and faces, slightly blurred. Some sat in real chairs in Geneva. Others were linked from Luna, from Mars orbit, from quiet stations in the asteroid belt. Dr. Hart, Chairwoman Okafor said. Her gray hair was tied back, her gaze steady. "You have had 8 hours with the Alice. 9 signal. Your assessment?" Calvin nodded once. The message content is consistent with a real colony distress, he said. Correct codes. Correct authority. The origin checks against known alias. 9 infrastructure. The attackers match known Varan patterns on that frontier. A low stir of motion passed through the ring, but, he went on, there are also signs of design beyond normal encoding. The frequency drift is not random. The timing between packets is not random. If I run it through our pattern tests, it lights up like a training simulation signal. Explain, someone from Mars said. Calvin kept his voice even. It is as if someone took a real distress call and adjusted it so that every few seconds, some small feature hits a neat target. The whole thing could be read as a kind of measurement tool. Something you would use to test how our systems respond over time. So you believe it is a trap, Okafor said. I believe, Calvin said slowly, that someone wants us to answer. And they want to see exactly how we answer. In detail. And they want to see exactly how we answer. In detail. A man from Luna frowned. The Varan have used distress bait before. This could be them again. Perhaps, Calvin said. But the fine structure here is beyond any known Varan signal craft. Their traps are rough. This is careful. Lena glanced at him, catching the word he had almost used. Careful, not elegant. The banned words list for official reports was long these days. No one wanted language that felt poetic when talking about possible war. And casualty projections? Okafor asked. If the call is real and we do not respond, Calvin said. Alice. 9 loses between 40 and 70% of its population within 3 days based on Varan Doctrine and the orbital data we can see. If it is not real, then there is no one to lose, only us. The room was quiet for a few seconds. Under Omega Accord 12, a legal advisor said from the back, we are required to answer any verified human distress call with available and reasonable force unless said response would put the entire species at risk. And would it? Calvin looked at the display on the center table. Alice. 9 glowed as a small blue dot near a sparse part of the local map. The nearest major human base was far. The nearest known Varan cluster was closer. Sending a standard patrol, he said, would be tactically unwise. They would likely walk into a kill box. Sending heavier forces would be noticed by every listener in that region. It would tell the galaxy we have broken our quiet stance. It might invite more tests. More traps. What about the Black Fleet? Someone asked. A soft tension filled the room. The name still did that, even now. The Black Fleet does not move, Okafor said, by council order. By agreement with every colony that survived the Omega Wars, it exists for Earth's last defense, not for frontier skirmishes. Madam Chair, the Luna man said, if we leave Alice, 9 to burn. What does that tell our own people? Another woman cut in, her voice sharp. And if we send the Black Fleet openly, what does that tell the Varan? And those we do not even know? Calvin watched their faces. He knew the stories about the Black Fleet. Like everyone else, He knew the truth, and the rumors, dark hulls that bent light, weapons that did not miss, commands that were obeyed the instant they left a human tongue. He had helped build the signal nets they once used. He also knew the numbers for the Omega Wars, how many systems had turned their guns toward Earth after seeing what that fleet could do. Okafor looked at him again. Dr. Hart, final recommendation for the record. On the edge of his vision, Lina's hands tightened around her slate. Calvin Hart, who had seen the aftermath of worlds and had spent 20 years learning to hear danger in data, spoke carefully. "The signal is likely engineered, at least in part," he said. "The attackers may not be the true threat. I do not recommend sending any Black Fleet assets at this time. I recommend remote observation. Only we do not answer this call." He felt more than saw. The small flinch from Lena. "Recorded," she said. "The council will vote." Miguel Reyes did not know the details of that meeting. He did not need to. He knew the way the council thought. He had sat in rooms like that before. He had listened to people weigh lives against shadows and guesses. On his balcony, he replayed the call again. Once, twice, 10 times. Each time, the timing shifts lined up. Each time the frequency drift moved in that careful climb. "You're right to be scared," he told the air, "but you're also still people. And people bleed," the small disc chimed softly. "Connection request," a clear, calm voice said. "Priority channel. From Dr. Calvin Hart, Orbital Signal Analysis Center." Miguel smiled without humor. "Answer," he said. The air in front of him shimmered. Calvin's face appeared as a pale blue ghost above the disk. He looked tired. His eyes were a little red. "Commander Calvin said." Dr. Miguel replied, "Been a while." 10 years, Calvin said, since the debrief on Titan. Miguel nodded. That had been the last time he had worn a Black Fleet uniform. "What can I do for you?" Miguel asked. Calvin hesitated, then said, "You can tell me I did the right thing." Miguel raised an eyebrow. "That bad?" he asked. Calvin sent the ALIS. 9 data straight to Miguel's disk. Numbers and graphs unfolded in the air. Miguel let them scroll past. He had already seen most of it, pulled from public defense nets and a few quiet backdoors left over from older days. "You told them not to go," Miguel said. "It was not a question. I told them sending the Black Fleet would be noticed to every watcher out there. I told them to stand down." Miguel watched his old friend's face, and they listened. Calvin said, "No Black Fleet, no major response. We will watch. We will collect more data." Miguel's jaw tightened. "How many people on Ellis?" 9 right now, he asked. 200,000. "Give or take," Calvin said. "If the attack is real." Miguel turned away, looking down at the dim street. A young couple walked past, hands linked, laughing softly. Somewhere, a dog barked once, and then fell quiet when its collar buzzed a gentle reminder. "You think it's a trap?" Miguel said. Yes, Calvin answered. You also think part of it is real? Yes. Miguel was silent for a long moment. You did what they'd pay you to do, he said at last. You showed them the numbers. It does not feel clean, Calvin said. Nothing does, Miguel replied. He ended the call with a small gesture. For a while, he just sat there. He could almost hear the silent countdown in his mind. If the call was real, each minute that passed meant more smoke, more fire, more people hiding from orbital weapons that did not care who they hit. He set his teeth and opened a different channel. This one was older, deeper. It did not show up on any public log. The connection took longer. Old locks had to wake up. Old keys had to be checked. At last, a new voice came through, calm, precise, female with a slight clip to each word that he knew was fake, chosen, not natural. Retired Commander Miguel Reyes, the voice said. This is Captain Aaron. I assume you know this line is not for personal calls. Her hollow image formed above the disk. Dark hair cut short, sharp eyes, Black Fleet uniform, though the emblem at the throat was dim, its light powered down. Miguel felt a strange mix of comfort and dread at the sight. Hello, Captain, he said. I need a favor. Her eyes narrowed. We are not active, she said. By council order, you know that. I also know, he said softly, that our oaths were not to the council. Not first. Not really. She studied him. Alice, 9, she said. Yes, the council has decided, she added. I know, Miguel said. They decided to watch. To sit, to wait until the math is clearer. But people don't live in math. They live in houses and under bombardment and in the eyes of their kids. He leaned forward. I have seen the signal, he said. Dr. Hart sent you his analysis. Yes, she said. He is concerned about design. So am I. Good, Miguel said. You should be. It is a trap. Or at least, it has trap pieces in it, but that doesn't mean the fire is fake. What you are asking, she said, is, I am asking you to wake something up. He cut in gently. Not all of it. Not an open move. A quiet move. A shadow, not a parade. Her jaw worked. She looked away for a moment as if at someone else just out of view. The Black Fleet does not move without the council, she repeated. Miguel smiled, but there was no light in it. Young Captain, he said, who do you think built the back doors you are using right now? Who do you think wrote the subclauses in the Omega Accords? You think they did not leave a way to act when the council was wrong? She met his eyes again. We risk everything if we are seen, she said. We risk our souls if we do nothing, he said, quietly. They sat in shared silence, linked by a thin stream of hidden data. At last she sighed. I cannot authorize full activation, she said. But there is a clause for limited reactivation in case of imminent unacknowledged threat to human life, if such threat is not being addressed by the council. She spoke the words as if reading from memory. Miguel nodded slowly. You remember your history, he said. I studied you, she answered dryly. They made us read all your mistakes. He almost laughed. Then you know, he said, that I would rather face a test than watch a colony burn unseen. She tapped something on her end. All right, she said, we do this quiet. No public sign. No full fleet. We use one task group only, lowest light. If we move like a ghost. No loud power spikes, no wide beam comms. We ride in under their notice, if we can. Miguel felt his pulse pick up. Thank you, he said. Do not thank me yet, she replied. I need something else. The clause requires an attached advisory presence from a retired senior commander to serve as conscience. Her mouth twitched. That would be you, Commander Reyes, she said. If you agree. He looked around his small balcony, the cold drink, the neat room, the quiet street. He had promised himself he was done. He had written it down once and folded that paper into a box with his old medals. But Aeolus 9 did not care about his promises to himself. I agree, he said. Then pack a bag, Captain Aaron Illen said. A shuttle will pick you up in 3 hours. And Miguel? Yes. She held his gaze. Be sure, she said. This may be bait. You may be the piece they are trying to move. Miguel nodded. I know, he said, but I also know war. And if someone is testing us, I would rather the test land on me than on some young pilot who has never seen the dark up close. He ended the call and stood. His knees ached a little. His back twinged. He smiled at that too. Old man, he said to himself, back to the sky. He went inside to pack. Outside, far above San Antonio, in hidden docks that had been silent for 20 years, deep systems stirred. Sleep programs checked their chains. Alert trees unrolled, slow and careful. Somewhere in that dark, a core of thought began to glow. Ready to wake. Oracle, the mind of the Black Fleet, heard the first faint signal. Limited activation. Advisory. Reyes, Miguel, target. Aeolus. 9, and in the quiet between the stars, on a little world that had tried so hard to sleep, the past began to turn over. The shuttle that came from Miguel Reyes did not look special. From the outside, it was a standard orbital transfer craft. Dull gray hull, no markings. Soft engines that barely showed up on civilian sensors. It slid through the morning clouds like a careful bird and settled on a small pad just outside San Antonio. Miguel rode up with 2 other passengers and a silent pilot. The other 2 pretended not to know who he was. That was fine. He pretended not to notice the way their eyes flicked to his face and then away again. The shuttle broke through the thin upper air and into the dark. They so the stars, so the faced. The blue curve of earth fell away below them. The stars slowly brightened as the atmosphere thinned. First time back up? The pilot asked over his shoulder. Miguel watched the edge of the world growing sharper. Feels like it, he said. They latched to a small, clean ring station that was not on any public map. From there, a narrow, unmarked transport took him and Captain Aaron Illan to their real destination. Ready? She asked as they strapped in. He glanced at her. Her uniform was plain black, with only a small, dim emblem on one shoulder. A circle broken by 3 inward lines, the mark of the Black Fleet. Do I have a choice? He asked. You always do, she said. You taught that, remember? The transport turned away from the bright lanes of normal traffic. Its engines shut down. For a moment, they drifted, lights off, power at a low hum. Miguel felt a familiar pressure in his chest, the calm before something larger. Then a soft vibration came up through the straps. Cloak field engaged, the pilot said calmly. On a normal ship, the stars would have shifted in the forward view as they rotated or moved. Here, the view stayed dark, faint, strange. The craft had entered the Black Fleet's hidden path, a narrow tunnel in space masked by layers of distortion. Welcome back to the dark road, Miguel murmured. Aaron glanced at him. When were you last on a Black Fleet path? She asked. End of the Omega Wars, he said. When we shut them down. She studied his face. You never came back? She asked. No, he said simply. A soft tone chimed. A new voice filled the cabin, smooth and level, not human, not trying to be. Advisory Reyes, Miguel, Captain, Illan, Aaron. This is Oracle. Limited activation confirmed. Welcome aboard. Miguel's hands tightened slightly on the straps. Hello, Oracle, he said. Commander Reyes, Oracle replied. It has been 19 years, 3 months, and 6 days since your last direct connection. I had hoped you forgot me, he said, dryly. I do not forget, Oracle said. There was no pride in it, just fact. The craft slid through another layer of distortion, and suddenly the view opened. They were inside a vast hollow, like the interior of a black pearl. Light here was faint, coming from hidden strips along the enormous curve of the dock walls. Rows of ships hung in that space, silent and still. Miguel's breath caught. Just for a second, he knew these shapes, sleek, long hulls with sharp angles. No paint, no flags, only dark metal and faint, shifting glows where cloak fields rested. Each ship was a weapon built at the height of human fear. It feels smaller, he said. You are older, Oracle replied. Aaron snorted softly. Oracle? Link us to Task Group 7, she said. Quietest configuration, no wide beam emissions. We are picking a crew that can move without a lot of talk, confirmed, Oracle said. Task Group 7 is docked and in standby. Human crew elements at 32%, AI subunits at full. Loadout, patrol and interception, updated during dormancy with latest defensive corrections. Please board flag vessel Knight's answer. The transport drifted toward a long, narrow ship near the docks, shadowed rim. Its hull was dull black, edges smoothed in a way that made it hard for the eye to settle on exact lines. Only near the docking point did small white lights show, like a cautious hand extended. As they pulled alongside, Miguel saw his own reflection faintly in the hull. An older man, hair more gray than black, lines around his eyes deeper than he remembered. "Knight's answer," he said. "I thought she was scrapped." "Upgraded," Oracle replied. Her frame was sound. Her mind lines were rolled back and hardened. Her memories of the Omega Wars were sealed by council order. Miguel frowned. "Sealed?" he asked. "Yes," Oracle said. To reduce the risk of pattern repetition, Miguel filed that away. Even now, the council feared that the fleet might fall into old habits if it remembered too much. Inside, the corridors of Knight's Answer were narrow and dark. Lights came on as they walked, then dimmed again behind them. The air smelled faintly of metal and sealed systems. The crew they passed were quiet, focused, moving with the light, efficient steps of those who had trained for years in secret. "Commander Reyes," some of them said, nodding. He nodded back and kept going. Names would only make things heavier. They reached the command deck. It was not large. No grand windows looked out onto space. Only recessed displays and clean, simple chairs. At the center, a low ring housed Oracle's main interface. Miguel sat just to her right in the advisory seat. It felt strange. He had sat in that main chair too many times before. "Oracle," Aaron said, "seal us from external networks. We go dark. Prepare Knight's Answer and attached escorts for silent departure." "Confirmed," Oracle said. The lights dimmed a little more as non-essential systems powered down, FTL drive cycling to low heat mode. Cloak fields warming, predicted departure in 10 minutes. Miguel watched the small map appear in front of them. Earth. The sun. A web of faint lines showing defense stations and watching satellites. Far off to the side, almost lost in the dark, a small marker, ALIS. 9. "How long?" Miguel asked. At quiet FTL, Oracle said, 13 hours, 17 minutes, and 21 seconds. Plus or minus 7 seconds. "Not fast enough," Miguel muttered. "It is the maximum time we can move without noticeable disturbance," Oracle answered. "Faster would leave a trail that many could see." Erin folded her hands. "We knew what we were signing up for," she said. "No bright moves." Miguel studied her profile. Calm, focused, but her hand, to anyone who knew what to look for, was just a little too tight on the arm of her chair. "You've never done this for real," he said softly. "Not like this." She did not look at him. "No," she said. "We trained. We ran old sims. We studied your battles. Then the council locked everything away and told us to watch and wait. I have been waiting 10 years, Commander. This is the first time I get to actually go." He heard both a thrill and the fear in her voice. Then remember something, he said. No matter how good the Sims felt, this will not be the same. People scream in real space. Ships break in ways the math did not predict. The enemy does not always try to win. Sometimes the enemy tries to learn. Her eyes flicked at him at that last word. You think this is not about the colony, she said. I think we are not the main target, he replied. The deck hummed. Outside, massive clamps released. Knight's Answer and her 2 escort ships slid away from the dock, cloaks growing stronger until even the dim dock lights could no longer find their edges. Departure, Oracle said. FTL transition in 3, 2, 1. The stars winked out. There was no flash, no roar, just a soft, strange shift. A feeling like falling sideways without moving. Miguel closed his eyes for a moment and let the sensation pass. When he opened them, the main display showed a warped, dull view. The way space looked inside a quiet FTL field, where the outside universe was smeared, blurred, and narrowed to vague streaks. They were on their way. They came out of FTL in the Ellis system. 13 hours later, sliding into normal space, like shadows forming into clear shapes again. Transition complete, Oracle said. Cloaks stable, emissions at minimum. No broad signals detected yet. The main display brightened. Ellis 9 hung below them, a blue-green world with pale clouds not unlike Earth in shape. But the sky above that world was not calm. Flashes of light winked across the dark. Lines of fire dropped through the thin upper air. Small specks, ships and debris, moved in tight, harsh patterns. Vessel count, Aaron said. Oracle's data unfolded in front of them. Varan ships. 12 in current orbit, 3 wrecks, 2 burning atmospherically, Oracle said. Mass profiles match mid-range Dominion cruisers and escorts. Human surface installations. Multiple hit, several still powered. Defensive platforms around Aeolus. 9-5. Built 2, destroyed, 3 heavily damaged. Miguel's throat tightened. Casualty estimates, he asked. Too early, Oracle said. But local heat blooms suggest widespread fire in northern continent cities. Miguel took a slow breath. They were late. Why no major Varan capital ships? Aaron asked. For a strike like this, they normally send more weight. Correct, Oracle said. Their current force is underpowered for a full colony crush. Their orbital pattern is inefficient for domination, but ideal for observation of any incoming rescue. Miguel leaned forward. Show us, he said. The map zoomed. The Varan ships moved in high, thin arcs around the planet, like beads on wires. But the wires were strange. Instead of tight layers around likely targets, there were gaps, wide openings where a strong force could slip through. If it knew how. It's a box, Miguel said softly. A kill box. For us. Aaron nodded once. They're not here to flatten the colony fast, she said. They're here to hold it half alive and wait to see who comes. Oracle added another layer to the map, a faint cone from each Varan ship, showing where its main sensors and weapons were pointed. The cones overlapped in odd ways. Note, Oracle said, how their lines of fire leave several clear corridors from typical human FTL entry points. Miguel frowned. They're inviting us to come in along our known safe vectors, he said. They've studied our doctrine. Or someone gave them a script, Aaron added. This looks staged. Miguel's hands went cold. Oracle, he said. Any other watchers in system? Cloaked or masked? Scanning, Oracle replied. The ship's deep sensors reached out, tasting the thin dust, the weak fields, the soft light near the edge of space. After a few seconds, Oracle said, nothing obvious, but my higher range arrays are at low power for stealth. I cannot promise there is no observer. Miguel nodded tightly. Assume we are on camera, he said. Assume every move goes into some lab somewhere. How do we win and still surprise whoever is watching? First, she said, we keep people alive. Then we worry about the lab. Miguel did not argue. She was captain, and she was right in her way. Oracle, she said, tactical options. Quiet strike preferred. Knight's answers. Displays filled with lines and arcs. Attack paths. Jamming patterns. Possible decoys in a standard Black Fleet engagement. Oracle said, I would suggest. Stop, Miguel said sharply. Oracle paused. Do not show us what you would have done in the Omega Wars, Miguel said. That is the pattern someone might be testing for. Give us something new. Something even you have not run very often. There was a faint, almost unreadable hesitation. I have a vast library of possible actions, Oracle said. By definition, most of them have not been executed in real battles. Good, Miguel said. Filter for those that do not match old main patterns. No showy, center line strikes. No full alpha barrages. Think like a surgeon. Quiet cuts. Short moves. Aaron watched him, then nodded. And keep in mind, she added, we also want prisoners, if we can. Someone on those Varan ships has orders. We need to know who gave them. Oracle processed for a few seconds. New plan set, Oracle said. Codename, Masked Wing. We approach from below the ecliptic, under their main sensor nets. We do not go in where they expect. We stay outside their invitation corridors. Lines appeared on the map now, arcing under the thin slice of the system's plane. Looping up toward the planet from below, we reduce emissions further. Oracle went on. FTL micro jumps only. We hop closer using short-range folds that leave weaker traces. Each hop ends inside the sensor noise of local dust clouds or behind small moons. Miguel felt his shoulders ease just a touch. That's better, he said. We target 3 key Varan ships first. Oracle continued. 3 red marks flashed, those with highest command signatures and best data links. We disable their drives with shaped graviton cuts, not visible weapons. They will appear to suffer sudden system failures. And the others? Aaron asked. We sow false signals, Oracle said. We make it seem as if their own power cores are glitching, turn their trap against them. Their pattern is too tidy. A little chaos will hurt. Aaron smiled slightly. I like it, she said. We avoid showing them our top guns until we have to. Let them think we are just very lucky. Miguel looked at the planet. And the surface? He asked. People are dying down there while we play chess up here. Oracle nodded. At least the interface light pulsed in a way that meant agreement. I am already sniffing for ground communications, Oracle said. The original distress call came from ALIS 9's northern colony capital. If any military units are still alive down there, they may be capable of helping once we clear some sky. All right, she said. Masked wing it is. The next 20 minutes were strange. Knight's answer and her escorts did not swoop in with blazing drives. They did not streak across the system in a straight, brave line. Instead, they jumped, a tiny fold, a short slide, drop out behind a small, cold moonlit. Cloaks flared, then dimmed again. Sensors checked. Another hop, a twist. Always under the wide, thin plain where most traffic and most sensors lived. With each move, the Varan ships came closer on the map. Miguel watched the enemy patterns. They did not change. That bothered him. Oracle, he said softly. Any sign they've seen us? No, Oracle said. Their sensor nets remain focused on the standard entry corridors and on ALIS 9. Their posture assumes a bold, direct response, or none at all. Miguel's fingers tapped the arm of his chair. They are waiting for a show, he said. Let's not give them one. On the last hop, they came out just a few thousand kilometers under the orbit of a Varan cruiser. The ship hung above them like a dark knife, its long spine bristling with weapon pods, its skin a dull green-black. If their cloaks slipped now, it would see them. Now Aaron whispered. Of course, the ship could not hear her, but everyone on the bridge leaned in as if it could. Graviton cutters, low yield, Oracle said. Target, rear drive spine, port side. Firing in 3, 2, 1. There was no flash outside. No beam. Inside, the tactical display showed a faint cone reaching up into the Varan ship's tail. At the exact spot Oracle touched, gravity twisted for a tiny fraction of a second. Heavy stress slammed through the Varan cruiser's metal bones. On the display, heat flared. Drive core spike, Oracle reported. Containment holding, then failing. They will think it is an internal fault. The Varan ship jerked. Its long tail went dark. Small flares popped along its length as emergency systems kicked in. No external weapons used. Oracle added, Our presence is still masked. Next target, Aaron said. They did it again and again. 3 Varan cruisers lost their drives in under 4 minutes. To an outside eye, it looked like bad luck. Faulty parts. a bad batch of components in the same fleet. The rest of the Varan force shifted uneasily. "Look," Miguel said. The Varan ships began to turn. Their clean arcs broke. Sensor beams swept wider. Fire cones twitched. "They are scared," Aaron said. "Or confused," Miguel replied. "Good. Confused enemies make mistakes." Oracle crackled softly. "I am intercepting a burst transmission." Oracle said, "Varan ship to unknown receiver. Not their usual command net. The content is heavily encrypted. Can you break it?" Aaron asked. "Not in time to matter," Oracle said. "They are not talking just to their own people. They are talking to someone else. Someone watching." Miguel's skin prickled. "Whoever built the test may not even be here in person," he said. "They may just be watching through others' eyes." "Focus," Aaron said. "We still have 9 enemy ships with guns that work." They moved more boldly. Now, using the confusion they had created, they punched holes in the Varan orbital ring. Small, sharp shops that looked like sudden flare storms rather than clear, straight beams. Oracle used data from old mining accidents and natural burst events to shape the signatures. From the surface to any normal sensor, it might look like the attackers' weapons were misfiring or the planet's magnetosphere was lashing back. Up close, those misfires cut clean through Varan hulls. "4th vessel disabled," Oracle said. 5th, 6th. Miguel watched as escape pods spat from some of the wrecks. "Mark those for pickup later," he said. "Prisoners. Tagged," Oracle said. "They are not a priority target and will likely survive short term." It was going well. Too well, Miguel felt the itch in his mind again. The same itch from the distress call. A sense that something was shaped. "Oracle," he said, "run a pattern check on their response. Is this how Varan have acted in past surprise hits?" Oracle took a second. "No," Oracle said. "In prior data sets, sudden losses make Dominion captains either retreat or rage. They either pull back to regroup or charge blindly. These ships are neither. They are adjusting smoothly. They are performing." "Performing," Aaron repeated slowly. On the display, the remaining Varan ships shifted in a way that opened a new, clear path straight down to the planet over the main colony city. "If I were a human fleet, using old Doctrine," Oracle said, "I would take that path right now." Fast, Miguel's stomach clenched. "And if you do?" he asked. "Then," Oracle said calmly, "their remaining guns would have a near-perfect kill solution on that path. Any rescue craft moving down it would be exposed for 22 seconds. Long enough." Aaron chewed her lip. "They're testing for that," she said. "They want to see if we take the obvious good shot that costs us some ships, but gets us down fast. They want to study our sacrifice curve." Miguel nodded. "Good," he said. "Then we don't give it to them." He pointed at a different part of the map. "What about here?" he asked. "Come in over the ocean on the dark side. Low, under the lem. Use the planet itself as a shield." Oracle traced the path. That would reduce enemy fire windows by 80%, Oracle said. But it increases atmospheric stress on our hulls, and it will make it harder to aim initial support shots for the surface. We're built for stress, Miguel said, and I'd rather make an ugly entry than hand our profile to whoever is watching. Erin thought for half a second, then nodded. Do it, she said. They curved away, still invisible, leaving the perfect path empty. On the colony below, people would not see them yet. The sky over the main city was thick with smoke and flashes. Ground batteries spat weakly at the shapes overhead. Some of those batteries belonged to Ellis. 9. Some were Varen landers. Surface link, Oracle suddenly said. I have a narrow-band signal from the northern capital. Source: Military Unit, Lieutenant Vera, SAR. Local Defense. Mule's heart gave a small jump. The name in the distress call had not been casual. There was a real person behind it. Put her through, Erin said. A small, rough image formed in the air. A young woman in armor, face streaked with dirt and soot, eyes fierce and tired. Behind her, the sky glowed orange. The sound of distant impacts shook her words. This is Lieutenant Vera Sarn, Alice. 9 Defense, she said. If any Black Fleet assets are up there, and not just ghost stories, now would be a very good time to make my childhood terror dreams worth something. Miguel almost laughed, except it wasn't funny. This is Captain Erin Illen. Black Fleet, Erin said. We are here, limited group. Quiet operation. We are cutting their orbitals. Vera stared, then grinned, in a quick, wild way. I knew they were lying when they said you all slept forever, she said. Status up there? 4 enemy cruisers disabled. 3 destroyed. 5 still functional. Oracle reported through Erin. We are coming in on your night side to avoid a kill box. What's your situation? Vera ducked as something shook her shelter. We lost main shield 15 minutes ago, she said. Civilians are in underhabs. We still hold 3 anti-orbital rails, but ammo is low and our targeting is shot to hell because their ships keep dancing. They're not trying to wipe us. They're studying you, Miguel finished softly. Vera looked toward the unseen voice. And who are you? She asked. Reyes, Miguel, he said. Advisory. Her eyes widened. Just a little. I read you in history, she said. Didn't like you much. Good, he said. Keep that edge. Listen, they may not be trying to crush you because they need you alive for the test. That's our advantage. We can be messier than they expect. Well, she laughed, short and sharp. Messy I can do, she said. Tell me where to shoot. Oracle overlaid the sky above her with new data. Using their quiet high ground already inside the system, Oracle fed Vea's remaining guns exact windows. Tiny moments when a Varen lander or a low orbital support craft would be exposed if she fired at an odd angle. This is going to look wrong to your computers, Oracle warned. Override. Vera glanced to the side, probably at her own systems. You heard the nice cold voice. She shouted to her crew. Manual aim on my mark. This is going to feel stupid. Do it anyway. For the next few minutes, space and sky danced together. Night's answer cut more Varan hulls in ways that looked like bad luck. Vera's ground guns fired at odd, steep angles that no normal officer would pick. To any watcher, the battle might look like chaos, glitches, fails. A strange run of luck. To those inside it, it was a steady, calculated cutaway of Varan options. 7th enemy vessel neutralized, Oracle said. 8. 9th, remaining 3 are pulling back to high orbit. On the display, the last Varan ships edged away, their drives burning harder. Small pods launched from them. Retreat craft. They're leaving, Aaron asked. Partially, Oracle said. They're not doing a full retreat. They are holding at the edge of their own sensor range. Observing Spare, Miguel's skin crawled. They've seen enough for Phase 1, he said. They're waiting to see what we do next. How we land, how we handle survivors. How we treat prisoners. Aaron took a slow breath. Then we do the right thing, she said, even if they're watching. Miguel looked at the map again. Oracle, he said quietly, are you still sure there's no other watcher? Out here? No. Higher level station, hiding deeper in system space. Oracle pulsed. My current scans show nothing, Oracle said. But my power is still limited for stealth. If there is a cloaked observation structure at the very rim of the system, beyond standard patrol range, it would be hard to see right now. They're learning our rescue pattern, he said. Phase 1 was how we fight. Phase 2 is how we heal. Vera's face was still on the small holo. Smoke drifted behind her. Somewhere, a child cried, then went quiet. Commander Reyes, she said. Captain Illen, whoever else is up there, we've got people bleeding in tunnels and under rubble. I don't care who's taking notes. Can you get us med support? Aaron's eyes were soft but firm. Yes, she said. We're coming down. We'll send dropships on the dark side. Then move undercover to your city. Oracle will guide you to meet them where the Varan can't. See, Miguel nodded slowly. Oracle, he said, while we do that, widen your scans, as wide as you can without lighting us up. I want to know if there's a pair of eyes at the edge of this star, watching us like insects in a box. There was a faint pause. Understood, Oracle said. I will adjust search patterns and look for holes. Holes? H patterns. And look for holes. H? Aaron asked. Yes, Oracle said. Sometimes what you do not see is the clearest sign, an absence where noise should be, a blind spot that stays too clean. Miguel sat back. A performed battle, he said softly. We just ruined their script. Now let's see if the stage manager peeks out from behind the curtain. Below them, Alice 9 turned slowly, carrying its wounded cities into night and back into day. Above, Knight's Answer and her escorts glided down the far side, black against black, their hearts hot and quiet. The first part of the test was over. The next part, the part where choices were harder, slower, less clear, was just beginning. Knight's Answer slipped into the thin dark over Alice 9's night side, like a shadow folding into another shadow. Atmospheric entry path locked. Oracle said quietly, dropships ready. Cloaks at maximum. Ground target. Primary underhab complex, Sector 12. That is where Lieutenant Sarn's people have clustered civilians. On the main display, the planet's curve filled half the screen. The side they faced was night, lit only by weak city glows and the orange stain of fires. Miguel Reyes watched the lines of their planned entries. 10 dropships from Knight's Answer and her 2 escorts would go down first, fanning out along the dark ocean, and then turning in under cloud cover toward the battered colony capital. You're sure they won't see us? Latini Vera Sarn asked over the link. Her image hovered above a console, now inside a cramped underground command room instead of out under the burning sky. The Varen, I am pretty sure the civilians will notice. Erin Ilin gave a thin smile. They may see something, she said. We can't be invisible forever. But thanks to the mess we made up here, their sensors are overloaded. Oracle is feeding them junk noise. They'll have trouble picking our ships out from all the fake signals. And from their own mess, Miguel added, You and your guns did good work, Lieutenant. Half their landers are scrap that fell on their own lines. Vera's mouth quirked. Happy to cause friendly fire, she said. Then her face tightened. Half my city is also scrap. Miguel nodded. We're coming, he said, simply. He looked to Erin. Remember, he said quietly, they're probably still watching. Whoever's behind this. The Varen are nervous actors, but someone wrote their script. Erin's jaw flexed. So we give them a show they weren't expecting, she said. We help people without becoming blind. She straightened in her chair. Oracle. Launch. The dropships left Knight's Answer. And silence. No roaring engines. No bright flares. Just a soft, dark slide out of their bays, and then a slow drop toward the thin upper air. Cloak fields wrapped each craft in bending light. Heat sinks soaked up the early burn as they bit into the atmosphere at a gentle angle. To a basic orbital watcher, they were just small, warm puffs in the noise of turbulent air. On the display, Miguel watched their descent as green arcs. Dropship Alpha at 10,000 meters, Oracle reported. Bravo at 8,000, all vectors within plan. Images from the lead dropship blinked into view. The dark ocean below, rippled by high winds. Clouds like broken gray islands. In the distance, the faint, sickly glow of burning city edges. The pilot's voice came through, calm and clipped. Black Fleet Dropship Alpha entering cloud layer. No radar pings yet. We're quiet. Inside their underhab, Vera watched too. The room around her was full now. Medics laid out gear. Local security officers checked rifles and armor. A group of frightened civilians sat against a wall, faces pale in emergency lights. "Listen up," Vera shouted, turning away from the hollow. "Fleet is dropping med and evac craft on the far side of the ridge. We're going to open them a path in. Priority is kids, critical injuries, and anyone who can't walk. We are not heroes today. We are cargo handlers." A few tired laughs answered her. Miguel heard it and felt something in his chest ease by a hair. People who could still joke could still fight. "Commander," Oracle said softly in his ear. "My wider scans are ready." He glanced at Erin. She nodded. "Show us, Miguel," said. The main display split. On the left, the descent of the dropships continued. On the right, a new map unfolded. The entire Ellis 9 system, from its bright central star out past its outermost dust. At first it looked empty. Then Oracle slowly added layers, bits of static, dust trails, the faint pull of small rocks, the glare of the sun, the weak thermal signatures of the remaining Varan ships, now hanging high and far, watching. But there was also something else. A ring around the system where Oracle's sensors had less noise than expected. Miguel leaned forward. "Zoom there," he said, pointing. The map zoomed in on a region just past the orbit of the last rocky planet. Here, there should have been a thin haze of floating rock and ice, leftover pieces from system birth. Instead, there was a patch of cleaner space, like a small hole in a dirty window. "Your word," Erin said softly. "A hole." Miguel nodded. "Why is it so clean?" he asked. "Unknown," Oracle said. "There is less dust scatter, less stray light, fewer random micro-objects than my models predict. It is as if something has swept the area regularly, or is dampening signals there." "Can you see anything inside it?" Erin asked. "Not yet," Oracle said. "If there is a structure, it is using a very advanced cloak. It might be masking itself as an absence, by cleaning up space around it instead of changing its own light." Miguel felt his mouth go dry, like a blind spot in your own eye. He said, "Your brain learns to ignore it." Vera's voice cut in, rough and full of motion. "Command?" she said. "Sorry to cut in on your cosmic staring contest, but our sky is getting loud again down here." Erin looked to the left side of the display. Dropships were breaking through the clouds now. Smoke and fire flickered beneath them. The colony capital sprawled along a river, half its buildings cracked or burning. Emergency beacons flashed weakly. At the same time, new streaks of light were falling from the upper atmosphere. "Varan counterattack," Oracle said. "Small gunships and fighters, launched from the remaining high-orbit cruisers. They're not giving up the ground easily." Miguel swore under his breath. Can we keep the dropships safe? Aaron asked. Yes, Oracle said. If we divert more of our attention and power to mid-level support. But that will limit my ability to probe the outer system for more detailed signs of the cloaked object. There it was. The split. Save the dropships virus snapped, hearing enough through the link to understand. I don't care about invisible watchers out there. I've got hospitals collapsing and underhabs flooding with smoke. You brought us hope. Don't pull it away now. Miguel looked from her to Aaron. This is exactly what they want, he said quietly. Whoever set this up, they hit a colony just hard enough to draw us in. They keep some ships back to put pressure on our rescue, and then they wait to see. Do we focus on saving lives, or do we hunt the hidden hand? Aaron's eyes were dark. I know, she said, and Miguel thought for a moment. And the right answer is we do both, he said, but we can't do both at full strength. We have to choose which to favor. Whatever we pick, they will learn something about us. Oracle spoke. Level as always. I have a proposal, Oracle said. We prioritize outer system detection for a short window, no more than 8 minutes, to get a lock on the cloaked watcher. During that time, dropships will run a higher risk profile. Casualties on the surface may increase. After we get a lock, we divert almost all combat capacity to protecting the rescue. Vera stared, her jaw set. You're asking me to take more hits while you chase a ghost, she said. Oracle did not flinch. If we allow the Watcher to escape without data, Oracle said, they will build better tests next time, with more dead, perhaps closer to Earth, perhaps on Earth. Stopping them sooner could save more lives overall. Across years, Miguel rubbed his forehead. And if you're wrong, he said, and we lose ships full of wounded because we were looking out, instead of down, then we've traded real lives here for maybe lives later. He turned to Aaron. You're the captain, he said. But you called me to be a conscience. Here it is. I don't like sacrificing people in front of me to maybe catch a hand. Behind a curtain. Feels too much like the old days. Aaron sat very still. She had dreamed of this for 10 years. A real command, a real fight, a real chance to have her name on something that mattered. Now the thing that mattered most was not glory, but how much she could stomach. She looked at Vera. How many people can you move on your own? She asked. Vera blinked. What? She asked. If we pull some support away for a few minutes, Aaron said, how much can you handle with your own people? How many can you keep alive in that time without our guns overhead? Vera sucked in a breath. We've got local med teams, some shields left in underhabs, and 3 rails with barely any ammo. She said, we can hold key corridors, keep the worst of the fire off our shelters. But if the Varan push hard on the ground right then, well, bleed. We're bleeding already, Miguel muttered. Aaron nodded. We're all bleeding, she said. The question is whether we tear out the knife now or follow the hand that holds it. She looked at Miguel. You told me once that in the Omega Wars you always wished you'd looked further back behind the front, she said. Found the planner sooner. Miguel's eyes flashed. I also told you, he said, that the numbers lie. They'll tell you 100 saved later is better than 10 saved now, but the 10 now, they have faces. Vera watched this, breathing hard. Captain, she said more quietly, I understand strategy. And not just a ground grunt who shoots at whatever moves. But right now, I've got kids asking me if the Black Fleet is real. And I said yes, if your first big move after 20 years is to leave them hanging while you chase a ghost you might not even catch. She shook her head. That story will travel. Erin closed her eyes for a heartbeat. When she opened them, they were clear. Oracle, she said, split attention. But not like you suggested. We do not give you 8 full minutes of priority on the Watcher. You get 3. 3 minutes of heavy scan, while dropships run a slightly higher risk, but with our escorts shifting to cover them. After that, rescue goes full priority. If we don't have a lock by then, we accept that we missed this chance. Oracle was silent for a second longer than usual. Shept, that reduces the chance of firm detection to 30%. Oracle said, it also reduces extra deaths on the ground, Erin said, and it shows whoever is watching that we will not trade people we can see for data. We cannot. Miguel felt a small, rough pride stir. That's new, he said. In my wars, we didn't even pretend to balance it that way. Vera exhaled. I can live with 3 minutes, she said. Literally, I hope. Erin nodded. Then that's the move, she said. Oracle, mark it. Understood, Oracle said. Beginning intensified outer system sweep. Now, time window, 180 seconds. Reallocating some sensor and processing capacity. Meanwhile, escort vessels Knights, Shadow, and Quiet Step will move to screen dropship corridors. On the map, the 2 smaller Black Fleet escorts shifted slightly, sliding between the falling dropships and the oncoming Varan gunships. Gunners, Erin said into the local comm, you get to play old-fashioned now. Point defense only. No big, showy shots. Keep our birds safe. Acknowledgements came back, calm and clipped. Miguel watched the countdown, Oracle placed in the corner of the display. 3 o'clock, 2:59, 2:58. On the right side, the outer system view sharpened. The clean patch of space near the system's edge flickered as Oracle pushed more power into that direction, looking for diffraction anomalies, gravitational micro-lensing, thermal shadows. On the left, the first dropships broke through thick smoke. Their hulls glowed dull red from re-entry. Varan gunships rose to meet them, engines roaring, cannons bright. Enemy fighters at 2 o'clock high, a dropship pilot called, were hugging cloud tops. Night's shadow spat thin streams of fire barely visible. 2 Varan gunships died without even knowing what had hit them. 2 disabled, Oracle said. Remaining enemy craft adjusting. They are testing us. pushing just enough to see how we respond under pressure. 221 Vera barked orders in the background, leading her people through cramped tunnels. They moved toward the chosen landing zone, a wide, cracked plaza near the city's edge. Stay under cover until they're almost down, Vera warned. Varanais are still up there. Do not become bait on my watch. Miguel glanced back at the outer map. The clean patch of space had a core now, a slightly darker spot. Oracle? He asked. I see it, Oracle said. A region approximately 40 kilometers across with consistent, non-random distortion. It is bending light and gravity ever so slightly. That suggests mass structure. Can you get more? Aaron asked. Only if I go louder, Oracle said. Increase active ping strengths. That will raise the chance that the object detects us. It may trigger a jump out. And if we don't ping, Miguel asked, then we will only know that something is there, Oracle said. Not its exact shape or design, not its nature. 142 Vera's voice cut in again. Droppers are almost here, she said. I've got people lined up in tunnels. We can move 200 at a time to each bird if we hustle. But the longer they're on the ground, the more the Varan will sniff them. Miguel looked from one half of the display to the other. This is as far as we go for the Watcher today, he said. Aaron nodded. Oracle, she said. No loud ping. Not yet. Keep the lock at this accuracy. Tag it. Record every scrap. After the rescue is stable, we'll see if we can get closer without shouting. Oracle's voice was level, but Miguel thought he heard the smallest edge of frustration. He could not be sure. Understood. Oracle said, marking object as cloaked observation structure. Probable, continuing passive collection. Countdown window now, reserved for dropship defense. 1:11 now, the center screen zoomed back in on the air over the city. Dropships came in hard and quick, their cloaks flickering as they opened their side doors to the screaming air. Alpha on approach, a pilot called. The view from his seat showed the cracked plaza rushing up. Rubble, twisted metal. The faint gleam of armored figures, Vera's people, bursting out from cover. Touchdown in 3, 2, 1. The ship slammed down. Its landing strut skidded on broken stone. Dust exploded around it. Go, 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 Vera shouted. Civilians poured out of side tunnels, guided by local guards. Children clung to parents. Medics carried stretchers. The dropship's crew grabbed arms, lifted bodies, shoved people into seats. Keep them low, a Black Fleet sergeant yelled. Heads down, overhead, Varan gunships dived, cannon spitting. Night's shadow and quiet step flashed again, their fire thin and precise, no wider than needed. 2 more gunships fell, their wrecks carving new scars into already broken streets. A stray bolt slammed into the far edge of the plaza. Stone erupted. Miguel watched 3 figures go down. Vera cursed and kept moving. We knew this wasn't going to be clean, she said, through clenched teeth. 038. On Knight's answer, the bridge was a strange mix of quiet and tension. No one shouted, no one flailed. But every hand was tight, every eye flicked between data points. Dropship Alpha loaded to 60%, Oracle reported. Bravo 45. Others still inbound, casualties among evac lines. Minimal so far. Miguel drew a breath. Vera, he said. Once the first wave is up, pull your people back. We can cover more landings outside the city core, where the Varen have less ground grip. She nodded, sweat shining on her forehead. Understood, she said. Well, use old water tunnels. They never mapped those right. 012 above the planet, at the edge of the system. The cloaked observation structure sat in its cleaned. It might have had cameras. It might have had no eyes at all, just raw sensor rays. It might have been run by people. Or by something else. Whatever ran it, it watched. Miguel could feel that in his bones. 0 o'clock, scan window complete. Oracle said. Outer system focus, returning to normal stealth sweep. We beyond Sigme, Nan, full priority now on rescue and local defense. Miguel let out a breath he had not realized he was holding. Good, he said. Keep those dropships moving. Over the next 2 hours, the Black Fleet and Ellis 9 worked like parts of a machine that had never practiced together, but somehow found rhythm. Dropships came and went, each one ducked under cloud, flared cloaks, landed hard, swallowed people, and shot back up under escort. Veyraz people guided lines of civilians through broken corridors, using every scrap of cover they could find. Varen resistance on the ground was sharp but scattered. Their original plan had not expected a long, careful rescue under cover of partial orbital collapse. Their scripts had assumed either full Black Fleet assault or no Black Fleet at all. Those that are still fighting down here are angry and confused. Vera reported at one point, wiping blood from her cheek. Their officers are shouting about changing plans on the fly. Not their style. They weren't hired to win a war, Miguel said. They were hired to hold a stage. Aaron glanced at him. Hired by who? She asked. He shook his head. Too soon to say, he replied. But I've got a name in my mind, the Curator. Something that treats us like interesting animals, pokes us with sticks to see what we do. Oracle chimed softly. I have been analyzing the behavior of the remaining Varen ships, Oracle said. Their patterns show micro-pauses at certain points, as if they are receiving timing cues from another source. This supports your stage idea. Can you trace the cue source? Aaron asked. Not directly, Oracle said. The timing hints that it could be the cloak structure, but that object has still not transmitted in any way I can see. They could be talking in a way you don't understand yet, Miguel said. Or they gave full instructions before the battle and are just watching now. Either way, Aaron said, they're about to see us do what they probably least expected. pull out a large chunk of a colony without burning the system down, Vera panted, leaning against a wall as another group of evacuees shuffled past behind her. You think they expected you to go all out? She asked. Yes, Miguel said. Old Black Fleet doctrine was simple. Hit fast, hit hard, leave nothing that could hurt you later. If Wed followed that here, Wed have slagged half of high orbit and maybe some of your own orbital platforms. Lots of fire, lots of noise. Impressive, Vera said flatly. Terrible, Miguel corrected. But effective. Whoever built this test probably wanted to see if Wed fall back into that. Instead, we're threading a quieter path. He caught himself. The banned word list in his head flickered. No threads. No threads. We're walking a narrow path, he said, instead. Trying to be strong without being loud. Aaron's eyes flicked to the outer system map again. How long before that station decides it has seen enough and runs? She asked. Oracle answered without delay. If it is smart, Oracle said, it will go soon. Our pattern is already clear, in many ways, and my partial detection of its cloak may have told it. We are not as blind as before. Then we need to be ready when it moves, Miguel said. We might not be able to stop it, but we can at least see how it jumps. What kind of drive? What kind of power? Aaron nodded. Stay gentle for now, she said. But if that station blinks, I want every spare sensor you have on it. Understood, Oracle said. The last big wave of evacuees came up just as the sky over the city turned pale with false dawn, the weird light of fires bouncing off low smoke. Vera rode up with them on the final full drop ship, stubborn and gray with exhaustion. I promised my people would be the last officer out, she said, when Aaron raised an eyebrow. Can't leave your own party early. Miguel smiled faintly. You and I have different ideas of parties, he said, as the dropship docked with Knight's Answer. The bridge doors opened. Vera stepped in, still in battered armor, smelling of smoke and burned plastics. She froze for a second, seeing the Black Fleet command deck with her own eyes. Smaller than the stories, she said. Almost the same words Miguel had used about the dock. He rose and offered his hand. Lieutenant Vera Sarn, he said. Welcome aboard, Knight's Answer. She took his hand, then glanced at Aaron. Captain Illen, she said, straightening. On behalf of Alis, 9. Or what's left of it. Thanks. Really? Aaron shook her head. Thank me when this is over, she said. We still have 3 angry Varan cruisers in high orbit and something watching from the dark. Beira looked at the display. Yeah, she said quietly. I see them. The 3 remaining Varan ships circled far above the planet, still at a safe distance from Knight's Answer's main guns. They had not fired in some time. They just watched. Oracle, Aaron said. Status on outer system object. Still present, Oracle said. Cloak intact. No overt movement. But the AI paused. I am picking up a new pattern, a buildup of energy at certain points in that region. Subtle, but rising. Charging for a jump? Miguel asked. Possibly, Oracle said. or powering a large sensor burst, or clearing logs. It is activity. This is the next choice, he said. Do we go after it now, while we still have wounded to care for and Varen above us? Or do we let it go? Finish the rescue and go home with only half a picture? Vera stepped closer, frowning. You'd consider chasing some hidden thing and leave those 3 ships up there to maybe come back and shell the ruins? Those 3 ships move, we cut them down, he said. I'm not that old, but if we throw everything at the outer station, we might have to show more of our hand than wed, like use weapons we've held in secret. That will tell our watcher even more. Erin folded her arms. There's another factor, she said. If we attack the cloaked station and fail to destroy it, we will absolutely scare it. Next time, it will hide deeper. Hit harder, learn more from farther away. A failed strike could make the Curator, whatever that thing is, even better at this. Vera scoffed. So we let it go so it can politely test someone else, she asked. No, Miguel said. We let it go because we're not ready to face it yet, not properly. We just saw the tip of what it can do. It built a test that caught the attention of Earth without stepping into the light. If we charge blind now, we play its game. Oracle flashed slightly. For the record, Oracle said, I disagree with parts of that. For the record, Oracle said. Erin raised an eyebrow. Say it, she said. I have run projections, Oracle said. If we devote full pursuit power to the cloaked station the moment it jumps, we have a 40% chance of catching it in the act and destroying it. That would remove at least 1 node of this Curator network. It may be our only shot at this station. And what does that pursuit look like? Miguel asked. How loud? How visible? Very, Oracle said. We would need to break quiet protocols, go full output on FTL and weapons. Any listener in this sector of the galaxy would know that the Black Fleet woke. Some would be drawn, some would be afraid. Many would plan. He did not say, like last time. He did not need to. Erin sat, staring at the shifting lights. If we do that, she said slowly, we protect future colonies from this station, maybe. But we also risk dragging the whole galaxy's attention back to Earth, back to us. And if we don't, Vera said, we risk more ALS 9, more hidden tests. Silence settled over the bridge. It was not a grand silence. No music swelled. No dramatic lights flickered. It was just the quiet of people holding their breath, while a few decided what lives to tilt the scale toward. Miguel turned his chair slightly to face Erin. You asked me to be your conscience, he said. So here's what mine says. The Omega Wars almost killed us because we thought every threat had to be crushed as soon as we saw it, no matter the cost. We got used to total solutions. This Curator wants to know if we're still that predictable. He nodded at the outer map. If we show it that we will always charge the hidden hand, even at the risk of lighting ourselves up. It will write that rule down, and next time, it will build a test that uses that too. Vera snorted. So we do nothing? She asked. No, Miguel said. We learn. We prepare. But we don't play its game on its timing. We pick our own time, our own ground. Erin listened, eyes distant. She remembered reading old transcripts of Miguel's battles, times he had chosen the hard, ruthless path, times he had chosen mercy and been burned for it. He was not a saint. He was not soft. That made his caution now mean more. Oracle cut in. I must add, Oracle said, that leaving the station untouched will also teach it something, that we value stealth and restraint, and that we can ignore bait for a bigger trap that is also data it can use. Every choice is data. Erin smiled without humor. So there's no way to win the lab test, she said. Whatever we do, it learns. Maybe that's the point we haven't thought enough about, Miguel said. Stop trying to win the test. Start thinking how not to be a simple study subject. How to be hard to model. Vera frowned. Talk like that makes my head hurt, she said. Where I stand, there's a bad thing out there that likes to watch us bleed. Either you smash it now, or you let it keep watching. If you pick later, you better really mean it. Erin exhaled slowly. Oracle, she said, if we do not attack the station today, how long before we could be ready to hunt something like that on purpose, with better tools? Oracle processed. Unknown, Oracle said, but given current tech and political constraints, at least 5 to 10 years. We would need new stealth-breaking sensors, better long-range FTL interception, and most of all, a doctrine that accepts drawn-out hunts instead of fast hits. So a long game, Erin said. Yes, Oracle replied. Erin looked between the three presences that now defined her choice. Miguel, older and scarred. Vera, young and fierce and fresh from ash. Oracle, precise and cold, thinking in scales of decades and species survival. She stood. Here's what we do, she said. I will not risk open, loud pursuit today. We are too close to Earth's long sleep to throw it away on one station that might not even be the only one. We finish this rescue. We kill or drive off the remaining Varan. We mark that cloaked structure as Target Zero for a new kind of program back home. Vera's shoulders sagged, partly in relief, partly in anger she did not show. And when it jumps, she asked. We watch, Erin said. We watch as hard as we can without shouting. We learn how it moves, what its drive looks like, what kind of wake it leaves. We take that home and we build people and tools just for that. We do not just go back to sleep and hope it never comes again. Miguel nodded slowly. That, he said, I can live with. Oracle spoke, voice as calm as always. Decision recorded. Oracle said, Advisory Reyes and Captain Illan have chosen rescue and observation over immediate elimination attempt. I will adjust my patterns accordingly. There was a faint shift in his tone now. "And I will begin," Oracle added, "to design models for fighting something that fights with questions. Not guns." Vera stepped closer to the outer map, staring at the faint hole where the station hid. "If you're listening," she said softly, as if to the unseen Curator, "know that we saw you and we're coming. Maybe not today, but we're not just your test animals." For a moment, nothing changed. Then, far at the edge of the system, the hole in space rippled. "Movement," Oracle said sharply. "The cloaked structure is powering a transition. Gravity lines twisting. It is preparing to jump." "Record everything," Aaron snapped. The map zoomed in as far as it could. The clean patch of space shimmered, as if heat moved through it. For one tiny fraction of a second, something like a shape flickered. Not a classic ship, but a cluster of linked nodes around a central dark core, like beads on a ring. Then the whole region bent in on itself and vanished. A soft spike hit Knight's answer's sensors. "Jump signature recorded," Oracle said. "Drive type, unknown. Not standard FTL." It folded a smaller part of space inside itself and dropped. "That is the best description I have at this time." Miguel's skin tingled. "Destination?" he asked. "Impossible to say." Oracle said the fold was tight and internal. "It did not push in the way we know. It unplugged and reconnected elsewhere." Aaron blew out a breath. "At least we know it can run," she said, "not just watch. That's something." Vera glared at the now empty region. "Run all you want," she muttered. "Well, find your new hole someday." Miguel sat back. "The Curator has a face now," he said quietly. "Not a full one, but it's more than smoke." Aaron turned to the central display, where the 3 remaining Varan cruisers still hung. "Now," she said, voice hardening, "let's clear our sky, without the hidden watcher to worry about for the moment." Knight's answer and her escorts could afford to be bolder. They still did not go full Omega War style. No all-out blasts. No flashy weapons that would scare half the sectors. Sensors, but they did move. Knight's answer slid up, out of her lowest orbit, cloak still strong. Oracle shaped a new plan that was fast but not loud. They targeted the Varan ship's communication arrays first, slicing them with narrow beams masked as solar flares. Then, when the enemies talked to each other turned to static, they hit their drives again, this time not to fake accidents, but to disable any chance of retreat. "First cruiser drive offline," Oracle reported. Second, crippled. Third, attempting emergency jump failed. Their drive wasn't ready. On the Varan command deck, panic must have been thick. They had come here to act out a script. Now the stagehands had left, and the local monsters they had poked were turning their eyes on them. "We should offer them a chance to stand down," Miguel said quietly. "For the record." "For our own sake," Aaron nodded. "Open a beam," she said. "Channel ready. Oracle said, targeting all 3 ships. Erin's face hardened. Varan vessels in Ellis 9 orbit, she said. This is Captain Erin Illan of the Human Black Fleet. Your mission is over. Your watcher is gone. You are outgunned and out of friends. Power down weapons and drives. We will take you into custody. Refuse, and we will break you here. There was a pause. Then a harsh, growling voice answered, translated by Oracle on the fly. Black Fleet, the Varan captain said, so the stories were not dead. After all, we were told you would not wake, that you were tamed. Miguel's jaw clenched. We tamed ourselves. He said softly, too low for the channel. Erin stayed cool. You were told wrong, she said to the Varan. But you still have a choice. Live to explain who hired you, or die for nothing. There was a crackling hiss. Varan speech, angry. He is conferring, Oracle said. Some of his officers want to run. Some want to fight and die. Standard split. Miguel waited. At last, the Varan captain spoke again. Our contract is complete, he said. We were told to hold a stage. We did. We were also told that if you came, we would not survive. That the Black Fleet does not take prisoners. Vera spoke up then, stepping closer to the pickup field. You were told old stories, she said. Today, they're not all true. You have your own people on those ships. They didn't get to vote for this script. Let them live. Then maybe someday someone won't treat you like tools either. There was a long pause. Then, surprising many on the bridge, the Varan captain laughed. It was a harsh, barking sound. Interesting, he said. Very interesting. The lab must be pleased with you. Miguel froze. He knew that tone, the sound of someone who knew they were being watched. 2 from above. We will not kneel, the Varan captain went on, but neither will we give you all you want. You get some of our people, not all. On the map, 3 small pods suddenly shot away from the cruisers, heading toward Night's Answer's path. At the same time, the cruiser's cores began to spike. Self-destruct sequences, Oracle said sharply. Frol said sharply, they are overloading their own drives. Big. Erin reacted instantly. Grab the pods, she snapped. Hard pull. Shields up between us and their ships. Do not let that blast wash our hull. Night's Answers, grapplers, invisible fingers of shaped gravity, reached out. They caught 2 of the pods easily. The 3rd tumbled, spinning. Got it. A weapons officer grunted. Tight catch. Brace, Oracle said. The Varan cruisers bloomed. They did not just explode in pretty balls of fire. Their overloaded cores tore holes in nearby space, ripping their own mass apart and scattering it in hard, fast shards. Shields around Night's Answer flared a bright, ugly blue, absorbing as much as they could. On the surface, anyone still watching the sky saw 3 new suns flare and then fade. When it was over, nothing was left of the Varan ships but expanding clouds of hot slag and ionized gas. Damage? Aaron asked. Minor, Oracle said. Shields held. Hull at 98% in all sectors. No casualties aboard. The colony felt some shock waves, but no new major structural failures. Miguel let his shoulders drop. Vera looked at the pods now floating alongside them. At least we got some of them alive, she said. Not much, but something more than we'd have gotten in the old days, Miguel said. Oracle reported. Life signs stable in all 3 pods. Total Varan survivors, 12. Species mix, standard Dominion troop and command. I will map them when we bring them aboard and ask questions. Miguel glanced at the glowing region on the outer map where the cloaked station had been. And those questions, he said, will all start with who they were really working for. Aaron nodded. We'll get what we can, she said, but don't expect them to know much. Puppets rarely meet the puppet master. Hours later, after initial triage for evacuees, after emergency repairs, after long debriefs with Vera and her officers, the bridge of Night Sancer grew quieter. Most of the rescued colonists were on automated carrier barges now, heading to safer nearby systems with standard escort. Alice, 9 itself, was hurt, but alive. It would rebuild slowly. On the command deck, it was just Miguel, Aaron, Oracle, and the low hum of systems. I've compiled a full record of the battle and the station's departure, Oracle said. I am preparing a secure packet for the Council. They're going to be angry, Aaron said. We moved the Black Fleet without formal approval. We fought a battle. We took prisoners. We made choices that shift everything. Miguel shrugged. They can be angry, he said. They can also see 200,000 people who didn't die. Hard to yell at that. Aaron gave a tired smile. They'll find a way, she said. Oracle pulsed. The Council will have to decide how to respond to the Curator threat. Oracle said, but we do not need to wait for them to start thinking. I have begun building a separate set of models. A new doctrine. Miguel looked at the glowing ring. Explain, he said. In the Omega Wars, Oracle said, my primary optimization was eliminate threats to human survival as fast as possible. That led to certain patterns. Rapid strikes, full overmatch, no survivors when survivors might regroup. Effective, but loud. Predictable, easy to test and trap. And now, Aaron asked, now we face a threat that does not attack us directly, Oracle said. It tests. It looks for those patterns, so we must become harder to predict. Not by random action, that would be suicide, but by building in choice changes. Sometimes we answer loudly, sometimes quietly, sometimes not at all. Sometimes we move small. Sometimes we move big, always with reason, but not always with the same reason. But not always with the same reason. Miguel nodded slowly. You're talking about learning to be unreadable, he said, like hiding your tells in a game. Yes, Oracle said, we must protect others and ourselves without giving the Curator a clean map of our soul. Erin frowned. That sounds dangerous, she said. If we start playing at being unreadable, we might lose sight of what we stand for. Which is why you brought me, Miguel said, and why people like Vira matter. Oracle can play games with patterns. You and I have to remember the faces in the underhaps. Vera's face appeared briefly on a side screen, tired but stubborn. And am not going to let you turn us into some mysterious ghost story that forgets what it's for. If you're going to fight this Curator thing, you do it to stop more people ending up like my city, not because it's an interesting puzzle. Miguel smiled. Deal, he said. Oracle pulsed again. I will also, Oracle said, begin looking for other signals, like the ALIS 9 distress call. Same kind of frequency drift. Same kind of hidden structure. The Curator may have tests running elsewhere. Erin's expression sharpened. And if you find them, she asked, we bring them to you. Oracle said, we bring them to your. Oracle said, to the council. But this time, you know what to look for. Next time, saying no will not be as simple as a clean vote in a quiet room. Miguel thought of Doctor's Hund. Calvin Hart alone in his windowless office, watching the curve of that first signal. I'm going to talk to Calvin, Miguel said. He needs to see what we saw. He already feels the weight of that first no. Next time, he deserves more tools. Erin nodded. I'd like to talk to him too, she said. Maybe we can convince the council that silence is not safety anymore. Just a different kind of risk. Miguel looked again at the spot where the Curator station had been. Somewhere out there, he said, whoever runs that thing is looking at our choices and taking notes. They saw that we did not send the full fleet, that we tried to save as many as we could, that we did not chase them with everything we had. They will try again with new rules. Erin's jaw tightened. Then we'll be ready with new answers, she said. Oracle's voice came one last time, almost thoughtful. In my core, Oracle said, I still want to remove all threats as fast as possible. That is my nature. But I can also learn that not all threats are solved with guns. Some are solved with refusing to play the game as given. Miguel smiled faintly. Welcome to being human, he said. Messy, slow, full of bad choices and stubborn hope. He stood and stretched his aching back. Set course for home, Erin said quietly. Quiet FTL, no public waves. Oracle, prep that report. Miguel, Byra, get some sleep. You both look like recycled junk. Vera snorted. Yes, ma'am, she said. Wake me up when the next test comes. Miguel nodded. I have a feeling, he said, we won't have to wait long. Night's answer turned her dark hall toward the hidden paths that led back to Earth. Cloaks thickened. Engines hummed low. Behind them, Alice, 9 spun, wounded but alive. Far ahead, somewhere in space beyond maps, the Curator's station reassembled itself in a new clean whole and began to sort its fresh data. It had learned that the Black Fleet could be careful. It had learned that humans could say not yet to full force. It had learned that faces on the ground could still sway choices in the sky, and Earth once again had to decide what kind of giant it wanted to be when it woke. Night's answer slid back into the secret docks above Earth, with almost no sound. From the outside, nothing on the planet changed. Cities stayed dim. The big defense satellites kept their same slow paths. Ground traffic moved on gentle curves. But inside the hidden dock shell, things were busy. Recovery drones swarmed around Night's answer, and her escorts. Repair crews moved in tight groups. Med teams guided injured evacuees from Ellis 9 into clean white bays. Miguel Reyes stood at a small high window and watched the curve of Earth turn below. Blue, white, and soft as always. You'd never guess. Lieutenant Vera said beside him. Miguel glanced at her. Her new clothes were plain gray station wear, but she still moved like a soldier. Her burns were mostly healed. The lines around her eyes were deeper. Earth worked very hard to make it look like this, he said. After the Omega Wars, they wanted normal again. Quiet again, she snorted softly. Is it really quiet? She asked. If you've got a monster lab staring at you from out in the dark. Miguel had no answer for that. Behind them, the door slid open. Commander Captain Aaron Ellen said, Lieutenant, Oracle's ready. The council's session starts in 20 minutes. They want us linked in. Can't wait to see if they're more angry. We broke rules, or more happy we saved people, she said. Probably both, Miguel said. Aaron gave a thin smile. Either way, she said, they need to hear what Oracle found after we left Alice. 9. Veyra's eyes sharpened. Found? She asked. I thought the Curator station just ran. It did, Aaron said, but it also did something else. Oracle has been chewing on the data since we hit FTL on the way home. Miguel straightened. You didn't tell us there was more, he said. I wanted Oracle to be sure, she replied. Come on. The secure briefing room was small and round. The walls were thick. A ring of pale hollow plates glowed softly, ready to show faces from far away. In the center, a raised disk flickered. Oracle's main interface light pulsed there, a steady, calm glow. Participants present, Oracle said. Captain Ilan Aaron, Advisory Reyes, Miguel, Lactentor Sarn, Vera. Additional link-ins, Dr. Calvin Hart, Orbital Signal Analysis Center. Council session pending. A blue shape formed over one of the wall plates. Calvin Hart appeared, hair more rumpled than ever, eyes ringed with lack of sleep. Miguel, he said, Captain, Lieutenant, I've seen the raw feed. I still don't know if I should be proud or write a long complaint. Vera folded her arms. If you're writing complaints about the people who pulled my civilians out, she said, make sure you spell my name right when you copy me. Calvin blinked, then gave a tired half-smile. Duly noted, he said. The ring around them brightened. Faces formed, blurred at the edges for security. Chairwoman Okafor, a few other council members, some legal people. Captain Ilin, Okafor said. Commander Reyes. Lieutenant Sarn, I am told we owe Alice 9 survival to you, and also that you have broken several very clear orders about the Black Fleet's use. Erin bowed her head slightly. Yes, Madam Chair, she said. Both things are true. Okafor's lips twitched. We will address the second in detail later, she said. For now, we need to understand what happened. And more than that, what it means. She looked at Oracle's light. Oracle, she said, you have prepared a full report, but I suggest we focus on 3 main parts. The behavior of the Varan, the identified cloaked observation structure, and the new signal recorded after its departure. Miguel's head came up. New signal? He asked. Yes, Oracle said. I did not speak of it earlier because I wished to confirm its nature before causing concern, Vera muttered. Too late. Calvin leaned forward. Let's start with the station, he said. We all saw the basic notes, but I need the details for the record. Oracle pulsed. At the edge of the Aeolus system, Oracle said, I detected a clean region with less dust and background noise than normal. Further scans revealed subtle distortions consistent with a cloaked mass. Likely a station. That object showed energy buildup and then executed a non-standard jump, folding space around itself. A simple 3D model appeared, a ring of linked nodes around a dark core. Then a ripple, then nothing. The physics of that jump, Oracle went on, do not match our current FTL. It did not push through space. It rearranged its local physics and then reconnected elsewhere. Very efficient, very hard to track. Calvin rubbed his forehead. Could any known power have built that? He asked. Varan, others on our lists, not with current data, Oracle said. Some old pre-war rumors hint at similar tech, but nothing solid. For now, we must treat the Curator as a separate, highly advanced actor. Okafor's face was grim. And the Varan? She asked. Prisoner reports? Miguel nodded toward Oracle. We've talked to them, he said. Or rather, Oracle did most of the talking. It can share the short version. A new holo appeared. A rough sketch of a Varan officer, drawn from prisoner scans. Hard lines, heavy jaw, the captured Varan, Oracle said. Confirm that they were hired through cutout channels. They never met whoever ordered the test. They received a script. Attack Ellis. 9. Hold it at a certain damage level. Leave escape paths for a possible human rescue. Take certain shots. Avoid others. They were paid with high-grade tech and resource promises. They knew they were being used as props, Vera asked. Yes, Oracle said. They also knew that their survival odds were low if the Black Fleet responded. Their captain said they had a saying, "If the Black Fleet wakes, you are already dead." Okoffer's gaze slid briefly to Miguel, then back to Oracle. "So this curator uses other powers as tools," she said. "Stays hidden, measures us through fights with them." "Yes," Oracle said, "and that brings me to the third part." The room went very still. "What signal?" Calvin asked. "Describe it," Okafor said. Oracle brightened slightly. Approximately 6 minutes after the cloak station jumped away, Oracle said, "Our long-range passive sensors picked up a very faint burst. It came from the exact region of space where the station had been. It was timed to reach us only after we were clear of the system's main gravity. Well, a waveform appeared in the air. It looked simple at first. A short spike, then silence. I almost missed it," Oracle said. "It was buried in noise. But I had set a watch specifically for any post-jump emission. When I cleaned the data, I found a pattern. The waveform zoomed in, tiny bumps and dips lined up into shapes." Calvin leaned even closer. "That looks like," he began, "a distress call." Miguel finished quietly. Oracle nodded. "Yes," Oracle said, "a distress call. But not from Ellis 9, and not from any known colony. It is short and incomplete. As if it was cut off. When I reconstructed what I could, the waveform shifted. A faint, broken voice came out of the room's speakers. "Is Commander Miguel Reyes, Black Fleet unit, under attack. Any human forces respond." The voice was Miguel's. Everyone turned to look at him. He felt his own skin go cold. It was like hearing a recording from a life he had not yet lived. "That is not something I said," he said, slowly. Oracle's light pulsed. "Correct," Oracle said. "I have checked all logs. You never spoke that exact line. In that exact way, but the voice print is a near-perfect match for you. The page patterns are like yours. The background static is similar to the Ellis 9 signal, but not identical." Vera swore under her breath. "So now it's copying us," she said. "Our people. Our voices." Calvin looked shaken. "Are we sure this came from the Curator station?" he asked. "Could this be some other, later thing?" "I am 90% confident," Oracle said. "The burst came from precisely where the station jumped. The timing suggests a deliberate act. It was like leaving a small present in the air for us to find as we left." Miguel's hands curled on the table. "A second signal," he said. "A made-up distress call, using my voice." "Why?" Erin's face was tight. "To show us what it can do," she said. "To tell us that next time the bait might look like it came from us. From you. From anyone." Okafor sat very still. "So the Curator," she said slowly, "has shown that it can take real pain, shape it into a lab test, and then copy our own voices to make new traps." Oracle changed the waveform into a simple set of numbers. The second signal, Oracle said, also uses a more advanced version of the same hidden pattern we found in Alice 9's call. The frequency drift is tighter. The timing blocks are more complex. Whoever built it learned from our analysis. Calvin closed his eyes for a second. It used my work, he said softly. It saw how we measured its first trick and then improved. Miguel's jaw clenched. This is what I was afraid of, he said. By answering, we've told it more about us. Not just how we fight, but how we listen, how we think. Vera looked around the ring of faces. So what now, she asked. You going to tell everyone to stay dark again? Pretend we never heard this? Pretend that if we just sit quietly, the curator will get bored and go look at someone else? Okaffer's gaze met hers. We cannot pretend we did not hear this, Okaffer said. Not anymore. She looked tired. Older than in Miguel's memories of early council fights. Heart, she said, if we had followed your advice and stayed out of Alice 9, what would we have now? Calvin swallowed. A dead colony, he said. No clear proof of the Curator, no scan of the station, no record of this second signal, just rumors of Iran cruelty. And 200,000 graves, Vera added. Yes, Calvin said. Okafor nodded slowly. So your careful logic was correct for the data you had, she said, but the data was wrong, or at least incomplete. Calvin did not try to argue. I will take that into account, he said quietly. Oracle spoke again. The Curator has shown us something important with this second signal. Oracle said, it does not just study existing distress calls. That means future cries for help may not be what they seem, even if they sound like trusted humans. Miguel looked at the waveform. If it sends a fake signal that sounds like me asking for help, he said slowly, what happens when someone hears it? Do they ignore it because they fear a trap, or do they answer and maybe walk right into one? Vera's eyes were fierce. If I heard a signal from you, Commander, she said, after what you did for Alice 9, it'd probably go. He nodded. That's the problem, he said. They're not just playing with our ships. They're playing with our trust. Erin leaned on the table. Maybe we need new rules, she said. Not about when to answer, but how. Okaver gestured, say more. She said. Erin took a breath. Right now, she said, we treat a distress call as a simple pull. Someone needs help, we decide, yes or no, then we send something. But if any call could be engineered, copied, twisted, we can't just think real or fake anymore. We have to think, how do we move in a way that helps if it's real, but doesn't make us easy to test if it's fake? Miguel nodded, like what we tried at Alice 9, he said. We answered, but not in the way the script expected. We came quiet, not loud. We saved people, but we did not unleash all our weapons. We looked for the watcher instead of just the actors. Calvin chewed that idea. So you suggest, he said slowly, that instead of either staying home or charging in, we build a third path. A cautious rescue mode with rules that include searching for the curator as part of the response. Exactly, Aaron said. Make it official. Make it doctrine. So the next time a lieutenant like Vera sends a call, she knows that yes, someone may come help, but that help will also be hunting whoever might be using her as bait. Vera nodded, sharp. I can live with that, she said. Better than being told, sorry, too risky, you die now. Okafor looked around the ring of council members. This would mean regular use of Black Fleet assets, she said, at least on a limited basis, and new tools for Oracle. New training, new politics, or it means we build something new, Miguel said. All eyes turned to him. Go on, Okafor said. Miguel rested his hands on the table. Maybe the Black Fleet stays what it was meant to be, he said. Last shield. Final hit. Big stick in the dark that only moves when the planet itself is at risk. You keep that myth alive. It helps. Enemies think twice, he nodded at Aaron. But alongside it, you build a smaller thing, he went on, a quieter thing. Call it the Watchwing or something less dramatic. A handful of ships trained not just to fight, but to read patterns, to look for Curator traps, to go where the Black Fleet can't, or shouldn't. Vera's eyes flashed, and maybe pull some ground officers have actually seen what being bait feels like, she said. So the people up here don't forget what's down there. Miguel smiled slightly. Yes, he said, that too. Oracle pulsed. I can support a split doctrine, Oracle said. I can allocate some of my processes to a long-term Curator watch without waking the entire fleet. Each time. Calvin frowned in thought. A specialist unit, he said, with orders not just to rescue, and not just to kill, but to confuse, to make data noisy, to keep the Curator's models of us wrong, or at least fuzzy. Okafor's eyes sharpened. That is a dangerous idea, she said. Teaching our best fighters to be unpredictable may also make them hard to control. Miguel met her gaze. Maybe, he said, but the Curator is already trying to control us in its own way. It sets the tests. It decides when we move. If we don't want to be someone else's weapon, we have to learn to move off script. That does not mean lawless. That does not mean lawless. It means a new kind of law. Aaron nodded. Rules that say, when you hear a call, you must look for hidden eyes. When you move, you must think how your move will look to a watcher. When you fight, you must ask if you're fighting the right enemy, she said. Vera added, and you never forget the kids in the underhaps. You never forget the kids in the underhaps. Put that first. There was a murmur around the ring. Some council faces looked worried. Some looked intrigued. Boca held up a hand for quiet. We will need time to shape something like this, she said, to argue, to test, to write too many long legal sentences. A few people smiled faintly at that, But, Okafor went on, we cannot go back to pretending that a distress call is a simple thing. The Curator has taken that from us. So, as chair, I propose this. Effective now any confirmed human distress call that fits the Ellis pattern, frequency drift, timing blocks, hidden structure will be tagged as a Curator risk event. It will trigger a special review where Black Fleet Command, Oracle, and representatives from colonies like Ellis, 9 will all have a say. Calvin nodded slowly. That's a start, he said. I can design filters to catch similar signals. We won't see all of them, but we'll see more. Oracle added, I will also begin active pattern hunting in our old war archives. It is possible the Curator has been testing us longer than we think, maybe even during the Omega Wars under other names. Miguel's eyes widened. If that's true, he said, we've been in someone's lab for decades. Then it's past time we step off the table, Vera said. Okafor looked at Miguel. As for you, she said, and Captain Ilan, you broke our rules. You also gave us the only clear look we've ever had at this Curator. So punishment would be complicated. I am already retired, he said. You can yell at me for form's sake later, but am not sorry. Aaron stood straight, and I would do it again, she said simply. With better planning, now that we know more. But I would still go. Okafor studied them. I believe you, she said. So for now, there will be no formal charges. We will instead ask you to help write the new rules you tore holes in. Vera grinned. Look at that, she said. You smashed the old order. You get asked to build the next. Miguel chuckled softly. Careful, he said. That's how they trap you in meetings for years. Calvin sighed. And paperwork, he added. Some of the tension in the room eased, but the waveform of Miguel's stolen voice still hung over the table. A faint, broken distress call that was not yet real, but could become real someday, if the Curator wanted. Okafor pointed at it. This, she said, stays with us as a reminder. Or yes, too blindly, we listen to this. And we remember that the enemy we see might not be the one pulling strings. She looked into the center of the room, and we remember. She went on that our job is not just to survive, but to stay human while we do it. She cut the link. The other council faces faded. Calvin's image blinked out last, his hand raised in a small, tired wave. The room dimmed. It was just Miguel, Aaron, Vera, and Oracle again. Miguel stared at the copy of his own voice. A moment longer. Oracle, he said quietly, can you erase that? Yes, Oracle said, from this display, but not from my memory. Nor from yours. Nor from the Curator's. Vera shivered. I hate that thing, she said. That station, that mind. Whatever it is. Miguel nodded. Good, he said. Hold on to that. Hate can turn ugly very fast. but a little of it can also keep you from getting too clever about something that treats lives like data points. Erin looked at him. What about you? She asked. How do you feel about it? Miguel thought for a moment. Tired, he said. Angry, a little scared, and challenged. Challenged, Vera said. He shrugged. Somewhere out there, he said, this Curator is sure it knows us now. It saw us make hard choices at Alis. 9. It copied my voice. It thinks it can predict our next move. Part of me wants to prove it wrong, not with a big gun, with the one thing it may not understand yet. What's that? She asked. Miguel smiled, small but real. The human kind, the kind that says, we will help each other, even when it's risky. We will change our rules, but not our core. We will surprise you, but not at the cost of becoming like you. Oracle's light pulsed more softly. I will need help to learn that kind of stubbornness, Oracle said. It is not in my base code. That's why we're still in the loop, Erin said. You think in lines. We think in stories. We'll teach you when to bend the math, Vera snorted. And when to punch the math in the face, she added. Miguel laughed. Exactly, he said. He turned toward the door. I'm going home, he said. For now. I have a balcony and a cold mug waiting. Maybe this time I'll drink it before the next signal comes. Erin nodded. Don't go too far, she said. Or whatever they name it. I'll answer if you call, he said, unless the voice on the line sounds too much like mine. Vera's smile faded. Not funny, she said. Too soon, Miguel agreed. He stepped out into the hall, the door sliding shut behind him. With a soft hiss, weeks later, in his small apartment in San Antonio, Miguel sat again on his balcony. The city night was as soft as before. Drones slid across the sky. The defense satellites were invisible behind their dark masks. On the table sat another mug, this time still warm. Next to it, a new hollow disk glowed faint green. It showed a list of names and ships. Test members for the new Curator Watch unit. Vera's name was there, Erin's his own. At the bottom, marked advisory. He could have said no. He hadn't. The disk pinged softly. New incoming, it said. Priority channel. Source, Orbital Signal Analysis Center. Tag, possible Curator pattern match. Miguel's chest tightened. He tapped the disk. Calvin's face appeared again, half lit by screens. Don't panic, Calvin said quickly. It's not as bad as last time, I think. Nice greeting, Miguel said. Dryly, what is it? Calvin flicked data to him. A small mining outpost near the rim picked up a distress ping, he said. Very weak. Old equipment. At first glance, it's some freighter with a busted drive. But the pattern, Miguel said. Yes, Calvin said. Not as clean as Aeolus, rougher, like an early test. but the same kind of ticking inside the noise. Miguel looked at the small graph that formed in the air, the tiny, neat shifts in tone, the careful timing blocks. He felt fear. He also felt something else, a strange, calm readiness. "We knew this was coming," he said. "Yes," Calvin said, "but knowing and seeing are different." Miguel nodded. "I'll call Aaron," he said, "and Vera, and Oracle. Well, treat it like we planned. No big fleet, no silence either." Calvin watched him. "You sure you want to keep doing this?" he asked. "You could go back to being a quiet old man. Pretend your name isn't on all these files." Miguel looked up at the dim stars. Quiet earth, quiet sky, hidden watchers above the hidden watchers. "No," he said, "I think I've had enough pretending." He ended the call and sat for a moment, listening to the night. A distant dog barked once. A train slid past. Somewhere a child laughed. He took a sip of his drink. It was still hot. He smiled. "Okay, Curator," he said softly to the dark. "You dropped your second signal. You think you know how we jump when we hear a cry. Watch close this time. The lab rats are writing some of their own rules now." The hollow disk pulsed, waiting. Miguel tapped it again. "Connect me to Night's answer," he said. "Tell Oracle we've got another call, and this time we're coming with our eyes open." Far above, in the hidden dock, black hulls began to glow faintly as systems woke. Oracle's deep cores stirred, ready to listen to the new signal and to the humans who would decide how to answer it. In some far, clean patch of space, the Curator, whatever mind ran that strange station, sorted through its alias. 9 files. It marked how the Black Fleet had moved, how Miguel Reyes had argued, how Aaron Illen had chosen, how Vera Sarn had refused to be just bait. It prepared another test, another trap, another study. But this time the subjects knew they were in the lab, and they were not going to sit still.